Madam Vice Chair, may we have engrossed substitute House Bill 1149 before us, and there are amendments Bravo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move adoption of Amendment Bravo.
It has been moved and seconded that Amendment Bravo be adopted. Senator Wagner, would you like to speak to your amendment?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. The intent of this amendment was to be very certain eyewitness statement or somebody had actually witnessed this, in particular with some of the 24-hour rules. A neighbor can leave in the morning and the dog was outside in a certain position and come back in the afternoon, it was still there, and then think that it had been there the entire time when lots of things might have happened in between. So I just wanted to make sure that there was kind of a double Band-Aid on that so that we could make sure before an officer seized an animal that they had a very solid reason with witnesses to back that up.
Thank you so much, Senator Wagner. I actually do understand what you're trying to get to. My concern here is just a different standard. I think if you wanted to chat maybe about doing a preponderance of the evidence standard as is required under the other two sections on this bill, I would love to have that conversation, but I am concerned about adding a different standard than what is consistent through other parts of the bill. So at this time, I'm going to ask for a no vote on that amendment. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the amendment say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Nay. The amendment is not adopted. Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move adoption of Amendment Charlie.
It has been moved and seconded that Amendment Charlie be adopted. Senator Fortunato.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose of this amendment is to exclude basically residential people who have a horse outside in a corral or a cow outside to be excluded from that shelter, required shelter. The amendment removes the word commercial so that by doing so, the thought was to say, okay, not only commercial situations, but residential. Now, the flip side of that is, if this is not acceptable, is to simply add the word or residential, perhaps on a floor. So the thought is, by removing commercial, we now have residential people with horses or cows or whatever out in the rain, and that's an acceptable husbandry practice. And I urge your support.
Thank you, Senator Fortunato. We actually received a lot of emails from the Western Regional Director of the Humane World for Animals, as well as Posado Safe Haven, saying that by eliminating the word commercial, that actually creates a blanket exemption for all individuals raising or slaughtering poultry or livestock, and is basically way too broad and goes beyond the allowances for accepted agricultural practices. So I think if you're interested in narrowing it down, I'd be happy to work with you and the organizations to get to what you are trying to protect in this amendment. Senator Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's a good amendment but not for the same reasons that Senator Fortunato talked about, but specifically the slaughtering of livestock and poultry. 4-H's, FFAs, people who just raise them for their own food should be protected, and I think the amendment does that, but I'm glad to hear that you want to work on this. So I'll be supporting the amendment, and when it fails, I'll be happy to work with you.
Thank you, Senator Wagner. Any other questions or comments about this amendment? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay. The amendment does not, is not adopted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the bill receive a due pass recommendation and be sent to the Rules Committee.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Engrossed substitute House Bill 1149 has received a due pass recommendation and is sent to the Rules Committee subject to signatures. I did want to say one thing on this bill. There was an agreed upon recommendation between Defense and Posado Safe Haven, and I apologize for the snafu, but it was not uploaded on our EBB. So I just want the stakeholders to know that I know there's agreed upon language, and we will get it on the